Welcome back. Today we're talking about how to argue without trying to win. I want to be honest with you. Most arguments do not break relationships because two people disagree. They break them because one person starts fighting to be right, and the other starts feeling emotionally unsafe. That costs you peace, sleep, closeness, and sometimes years of resentment that could have been prevented with one calmer sentence. First, we will catch the moment where winning starts feeling more important than being understood. Then we will separate the actual issue from the old pain that quietly joins the argument. You will hear the phrase that sounds logical but makes the other person feel cornered. We will use one simple body check before your nervous system takes over the conversation. Then comes the question that can turn blame into understanding without surrendering your boundary. We will set the line that keeps the argument from becoming a wound. After that, we will cover the repair move that matters more than a perfect apology. And finally, we will build a small rule so the same fight does not keep coming back wearing a new costume. Here is what nobody says out loud: you can win the point and still lose closeness. The real check is not, did I prove them wrong? The real check is, did this conversation make it safer for both of us to be honest next time? If the answer is no, the argument was not a conversation, it became a scoreboard. Before you reply, silently choose a better goal. I want us to understand what happened and what needs to change. That sentence changes your tone before you even open your mouth. You stop collecting evidence like a lawyer and start listening like someone who wants the relationship to survive the disagreement. A late reply is not always just a late reply. A messy kitchen is not always just a messy kitchen. Sometimes the real argument is, do I matter to you? Can I rely on you? Are you noticing how much I am carrying? When you fight only the surface issue, the deeper hurt keeps finding new reasons to return. Try this. The fact is one thing, but the feeling underneath is another. For example, the fact is the plan changed. The feeling is, I felt unimportant. This does not make you weak, it makes the conversation accurate. Facts explain what happened. Feelings explain why it hurt. The word you can become a spotlight that feels like an attack. You never listen, you always do this. Even when the complaint is valid, the other person hears a character judgment. And once someone feels judged, they usually stop hearing your pain and start defending their identity. Use this instead. When this happened, I felt this, and I need this going forward. When the call ended suddenly, I felt dismissed, and I need us to pause before hanging up. Notice the difference. You are not attacking their whole personality, you are describing a specific moment and asking for a specific repair. Sometimes you are not overreacting because you are dramatic. Your body is trying to protect you. Tight chest, hot face, faster voice, rehearsing your comeback while they are still talking. That is the moment where the argument can stop being about the issue and become about survival. Before you answer, take one slow breath and relax your jaw. Then say, I want to respond properly, give me a second. This is not avoidance, it is leadership. You are telling your nervous system that the relationship is not a battlefield, and your next sentence does not have to be a weapon. When someone says, you do not care, your first instinct may be to prove that you do. You list everything you have done, you build your case. But often they are not asking for a court defense, they are asking, can you see the hurt that made me say that? Try asking, what part of this hurt the most? That question does not mean you agree with every accusation. It means you are willing to understand the emotional impact before solving the logistics. And many times the argument softens because the person finally feels seen instead of cross-examined. Arguing without trying to win does not mean becoming a doormat. If someone insults you, mocks you, shouts over you, or twists your words, staying calm is not the same as staying available. Love needs warmth, but respect needs a line. Without that line, the argument becomes emotional damage with better vocabulary. Use a boundary with a bridge. I want to talk about this, but not while we are insulting each other. I am taking 20 minutes, and I will come back. The return matters. Without the return, it feels like abandonment. With the return, it feels like self-control. Honestly, this one hits differently because many people apologize just enough to end the discomfort, not enough to change the pattern. Sorry matters, but if the same behavior returns next week, the apology becomes a reset button. The hurt person starts thinking, you regret consequences, not the wound. A stronger repair sounds like this. I see that my tone made you feel small. Next time, I will pause before I raise my voice. That is specific. It names the impact and gives a behavior change. Real repair is not just, please forgive me. Real repair is, here is how I will protect you from the same hurt. If you keep having the same fight about different things, the topic is probably not the real pattern. Today it is dishes, tomorrow it is plans, next week it is money, but underneath it may be the same loop. One person feels alone, the other feels criticized, and both leave feeling misunderstood. Make one simple agreement when you are both calm. When we argue, we will not insult, interrupt, threaten leaving, or bring up old wounds as weapons. We will pause if it gets too heated, and we will return. That agreement will not make you perfect, but it gives the relationship something to stand on when emotions shake the room. If this helped you think about one argument differently, stay with this channel. The next useful system is how to repair after a fight when both people still feel hurt, because that is where many relationships either grow stronger or quietly start drifting. Here is the good news. You do not need to become emotionless to argue better. You need a better aim, a slower first response, and a repair plan that protects both people. Tell me in the comments, in your real life, what is the hardest part of arguing without trying to win? Staying calm, feeling heard, or setting the boundary?